Maricela, perfect ceremony, love will grow. I do with Maricela.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first show. This is I Do with Maricela. And the purpose of our show is to help guide you, give you some advice and some tips and tricks for everything wedding planning.
Hello, I'm Henry, Maricela's sidekick, here to make sure that your process goes as smooth as possible.
Absolutely. I've been a wedding officiant for 17 years now. We've seen some weddings, we've seen some to-dos and some not to-dos, and we're here to relay that to you so that you can use it as best as you can for your big day.
That's what we're here for. We want to bring a lot of knowledge and advice to help your process be as effortless and as beautiful as possible.
Absolutely. All right, Henry, so let's talk about choosing the right officiant.
Let's do it. Very important.
Absolutely. We see so many Uncle Bobs.
Lots of those.
So we'll try to guide some people to not hire the bad Uncle Bobs. We only want the good Uncle Bobs.
So what exactly do you mean, Uncle Bob, for our audience who's never heard that term before?
Oh, brother, Uncle Bob, stay away from him. Uncle Bob is a person that you hire, or you don't really hire, you promise him dinner and a drink. And you ask your family or your friend, or they offer to help you out on your wedding day. And while most of the time that seems very nice and you want to give them the opportunity to help officiate for you, it's not always the best idea. One, because Uncle Bob has no training. He has no experience. He's never done this before. Much like how you would probably not hire a DJ that's never DJ'd before. You wouldn't hire him to DJ your wedding. For a florist who's never done any arrangements or a baker who's never baked a cake, you probably wouldn't hire them to be a vendor at your wedding. Uncle Bob is no different. You shouldn't hire anyone who is not experienced on how to navigate a ceremony properly.
We've heard a lot of horror stories from all the weddings we've done, and we want to try to make sure that you guys avoid those kind of things.
First and foremost, lots of people hire someone who wants to encapsulate their energy and their personalities and their vibe into the ceremony. But there are some people who really don't care about the logistics of the ceremony. In that case, it really doesn't matter who they hire. They really only want the legalities, and that is it. And that's okay. If that works for your ceremony, that's definitely a choice that you have. But if you want someone who is really going to capture the story of your life, of your love, and represent that in your ceremony, then you would want to hire someone who is a professional.
Absolutely. Makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go through some common mistakes that people make when hiring an officiant. Number one is waiting too long to hire an officiant, and it causes a lot of confusion and a lot of scrambling. I would like for you to consider that a top wedding officiant is much like a top wedding venue. They get booked fast and they get booked far out. Top wedding officiants are no different. We get busy and our calendar gets full very quickly. Most of good wedding officiants book on a first come first serve basis. So if you wait too long, you will miss out on the opportunity for them to officiate for you.
Yeah, we strongly recommend that once you have met or had a conversation with the officiant and you want to proceed and hire them, book them as soon as possible, because no dates are guaranteed until you book your officiant. And don't wait till the last minute. We've seen it all the time where the conversation, the meetings go very well. The couple really likes the officiant. Mm-hmm. They wait around 1, 2, 3, 4 months, and they're like, okay, we're ready to book. And guess what?
They're gone.
Most likely, the officiant has been booked. Because like Maricela said, we do get booked up to like 2 years in advance. So don't assume that your date is secure, because it never is until that deposit is paid and you have secured your date.
Yes, having a meeting with your officiant, having a conversation with them does not mean that your date is secure. Money is what puts your date on the calendar. You need to make sure that your deposit is there. Otherwise, they will take other clients and you will lose your date. So please be very mindful about that.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I would like for you to consider is hiring someone just basically solely on price is good for budgeting, but it's not good for the overall idea that you would like for your ceremony. A good officiant is not always going to be the least expensive officiant. So let's try to get away from price versus quality.
And experience.
Absolutely. Another thing that doesn't come up often enough, but it really should, is checking credentials. I've been officiating for 17 years. How many times have they asked me for my credentials?
Almost never.
3 times. And I am always surprised when they do ask for them, but you should be asking for everyone's credentials, especially for someone who is legalizing your marriage. You need to be sure that they are actually ordained and certified to do so. So please do that.
Well, while we're on the subject, let's discuss why that is so important, especially when it comes to the date of the paperwork.
Oh, yes. A competent wedding officiant should know, number one, how to fill out the paperwork properly, right? We see a lot of incomplete or improperly filled out paperwork from previous officiants. If the county rejects your paperwork, you will lose your wedding day, and they will force you to choose a different wedding day. And if that wedding day meant something to you, it's very important for you, for your relationship. You know, you have some people like to choose one day that is the day that they met or the day that they started dating. They want to continue that date for their marriage. But if your officiant makes a mistake and you can no longer use that date, you will be forced to choose another wedding day. And that is very unpleasant. So please be careful with who you are electing to be your officiant, and that they do know how to properly fill out your paperwork.
And then also, let's also let the audience know that not all officiants are authorized to do paperwork.
No, they're not authorized to issue marriage licenses. You need an officiant who is also a certified notary for LA County, like myself. Not all notaries are officiants, and not all officiants are notaries. So decide on what you would like. We are a one-stop shop. We like to have it that way and solve all the problems for our clients. And that is who we are, but we should be mindful on who you are choosing. The other thing we want to remember is sometimes we hire wedding officiants, but we don't really know them. They haven't been referred, or we haven't watched them perform. In those cases, what should you do? You should ask for a sample video of them officiating a wedding, so that you can check cadence and you can check tone and ensure that their vibe and their personality is something that you would like for your wedding day. You want to be careful with someone who is too comical and steals the show away from what you want to focus on for ceremony. You don't want someone who is an entertainer and only there for themselves. You want someone who is there representing you.
Yeah, don't even get me started on when an officiant takes over the ceremony, when they become the highlight of the wedding. It should never be like that. The couple is always number one. It's always about the couple. It should never be about the officiant. Yes, the officiant should be very professional, very sweet, very knowledgeable, but never make it about yourself, ever.
Right.
Because it's not about us. At the end of the day, it's not about
your
us. It's not our show. It's the couple's show, and it should reflect that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We've seen many officiants that make it about themselves, and that's not how a ceremony or a wedding should be.
So in that conversation that you're having with your officiant, you want to establish what your tone for your ceremony that you would like. A good officiant will ask you, what would you like your ceremony to feel like? And based on that, they should be able to build a ceremony that reflects that. But that is a conversation that you need to have. What is important to you? Do you want something formal? Do you want something religious? Do you want something non-denominational? Do you want something short, sweet, and simple? All of that matters, because that will give them the ability to deliver something appropriate for you. If you don't have those conversations, you're really just leaving them in the wind to decide for you, and that's not really something that you want them to do if they're not a professional enough officiant.
Well, with that said, too, we highly, highly recommend that you always book a meeting with your officiants. Yeah, I'd probably say a good half of our weddings are just booked online without even meeting us, which is very flattering. But with that said, we still highly recommend that you take the time and sit down with your officiant. Get to know them, get to know their personality, their character, their everything about them.
Their skill.
Their skill, exactly. So we always suggest and recommend have that meeting if in face to face if possible. It's not always possible, but face to face if possible because that's where you get the most from the meeting, from the officiant, and like that, both parties get to know each other and get to know if you're a fit for each other.
Because not only are you interviewing your officiant, but your officiant is also interviewing you to see if you're a fit couple for them. Personalities are a very real thing, and everyone is not suited for everybody. And these meetings are important for you to figure that out. If you can't meet in person, that's okay. We officiants like us, we offer phone meetings and also Zoom meetings to make logistics for meetings more feasible. But take advantage of that and do look for someone who is willing to have those meetings with you. If your officiant is not willing or doesn't really want to do that, then we suggest you look elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a big red flag right there, because meeting your couples and getting to know them is very important for the ceremony. Very important for the words that are going to be said in your
ceremony.
They become very, very personalized when you do meet. Because what we do, we take that energy, that the conversations from there, the history, the questions that we ask, and all that gets sprinkled into your ceremony and becomes very personalized and very beautiful. Not to say that we won't do a professional job if we don't meet you in person, but it's not the same. And it'll never be the same because that energy that is created there, that relationship
is unique.
Is very unique and is very obvious once the ceremony takes place.
And I'm glad you brought up personalization because that's important too. You want someone who is also able to personalize the ceremony for you versus just offering you a generic script. You want to ensure that your officiant is not rigid, but is flexible and can adapt to what you're asking or what you're needing. We do hear of officiants who do not offer any type of personalization. They will tell you what you're going to have at your ceremony versus what you want to have. Personally, I think that's a no-no. We're not here to dictate your ceremony for you. We're here to listen to what you want, to what you would like to have, and we're here to create that for you and not dictate your ceremony for you. We're going to lead your ceremony and guide you through it, but we're not going to decide it for you.
All right.
Another thing that we would like to clarify is who signs the marriage license. You should not be asking your officiant who signs the marriage license. Your officiant should already know who signs the marriage license. Your officiant should know what the deadlines are, and they should know how to properly complete it without asking you for that type of guidance. If your officiant is asking you about the marriage license paperwork, go elsewhere.
That won't end well.
No, that's not going to end well. You would also like a wedding officiant who is properly structured, who has a timeline, who has a time frame, who understands how to guide you through a ceremony. What is it that we say during ceremonies? What their job is?
As a couple, your only job is to be there and look the most beautiful you possibly can. Stress-free. Don't worry about anything else because once we're there, we will guide the whole show, and your job is just there to look and be beautiful
And
enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment and be present with each other and with themselves and with their guests. But you want to be cautious of someone who can not give you references. If someone is barely starting out, they may not have a lot of references, but you at least want them to have some. So if they're not unable to give you references, maybe they're not ready to perform a ceremony for you just yet. And if they can't offer recordings either, that might not be someone that you may want to hire. They may not be ready for a full formal ceremony. Someone too who is unwilling to adapt to your ceremony or who wants to give you a script that you cannot view or that you cannot edit, that's also a concern. Lots of you would like to know ahead of time what is being said. It happens. It doesn't happen always, but some couples do want to preview a wedding script, and if that's the case, you should be able to do that. If your officiant tells you no, then maybe they're not the right one for you. You also want to be careful about poor communication or evasiveness. If your officiant doesn't respond, it takes them weeks to respond to
Not a
one
good
email.
sign.
It's not a good
Not a
sign
good sign of their work
of their work ethic,
work
really.
ethics. Yeah.
And if they're evasive about their the legalities, like their licensing or their or any credentials that they have, if they don't want to produce them, then that usually tells you they're probably not properly ordained or not properly credentialized to run a ceremony. At least not in this state, right?
Right. First time clients that come in, their first sentence to us is always, "We don't know what to do.
Yes.
What are the do's and don'ts?"
We've
You
never
know?
been married.
We've
We
never
don't
been
know
married.
what to do.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
That seems to be a very important thing.
Well, a good officiant should always know what to do.
Exactly.
They should come with the question. If the couple doesn't have any questions of their own, we should be providing the questions for them. We should have them already pretty much in our minds to ask them. A lot of them don't know. They've never been married before. Some of them haven't even been to weddings.
Right.
You know, some of them have been to 11 weddings in a year. But just because you've been to a lot of weddings doesn't really mean that you know how they work behind the scenes.
I think the number one question is, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to have in this wedding? And our answer to those questions are always, it's going to be what you want in the wedding. It's going to be how you want the wedding to be performed. There's nothing written in stone that says, okay, we have to do this first, we have to do that first. I mean, this second. No. A wedding for every couple is going to be different, and it's going to be what you want in it. Us as officiants are not there to tell you what to do. And no
Or what to
officiant
have.
or what to have, what is the process? No. A good officiant will, yes, they can guide you, but at the end of the day, it's what you want in your ceremony or what you don't want in your ceremony.
Essentially, your job is to tell your officiant what you would like, and the job of your officiant is to deliver that for you. It is their homework to deliver that for you. It is not for you to give them all the information for them to have. A professional one will know what to pull from you, will know what to ask, will know what to deliver for you based on the meetings, based on your conversations, based on their observances. They should know how to deliver something that is resonant of you and reflects you, so that when after ceremony and when everything is all said and done, you and your family and your friends will say, yeah, that ceremony was so you. That ceremony was totally you guys. That ceremony, I understand it. That's what a good officiant should deliver.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to the difference when you have met your officiant face to face versus not. I think it's very obvious from the several hundred weddings we've done that when the couple has taken their time to meet us, the ceremony becomes very unique.
Yes.
So much so in a way that your guests, your family, your friends, after the ceremonies, they always ask, well, how long have you guys known the officiant?
Are you friends?
Are you guys friends? Are you guys related? I mean, it's such a beautiful relationship to see, not just for the guests, but the couple. The couple, like, once you arrive to perform the ceremony, and I should know because I'm there all the time too, there's nothing like it. You can see the stress melt away because they know you. It's like a friend has just shown up. A
Yes.
friend is going to come and marry us now. And we know that she says all we have to do is look beautiful.
That's
we don't
our
have to
job.
worry about nothing else. And you can back me up on this. Even while you're performing the ceremony, they will tell you right there on the spot, we're so happy that, you know, that you're here now and that you're going to take over. And we don't have to worry about nothing.
And they go, phew.
Yeah. I mean, you can just see it. You can feel it, right? You can feel the
Yes.
difference. Versus not have ever meeting your officiant, all of a sudden it becomes more like a stranger shows up. They can probably do a wonderful job, a professional job, but nonetheless, it's still a stranger. And it still feels that way,
Right.
right? Versus when you've met us, you've talked to us,
Yes.
we've conversated,
Yes,
right?
we developed rapport. We developed a relationship, even if it was just at one meeting many weeks before. But they remember that. So when we walk on site, they remember us. They remember meeting us. They remember talking to us. They remember, oh, yes, they do know what they're doing. That's why we hired them, because they do know what they're doing. We relax now. This is showtime. She said she's going to take care of all of it. And that's what I'm going to let her do. And when they do that, it is such a refreshing moment for them, you know, to come down and say, okay, we're just gonna get married now, and the stress is done. It's over. It's not something that they're carrying and having to worry about. Not to say that the nerves won't still be there. They'll still be there.
And you know, back to the meetings, guys. We can't stress enough how important that is and how much you can get out of it. For example, when we have our meetings, you know, we get to know you. We'll ask you some questions about your relationship, about your history, and all of that gets sprinkled into your ceremonies.
And your families too, your
Yeah,
family dynamics, because if there's a difficult family dynamic, we should know about it so that we are better able to handle it come rehearsal day or even come day of. When there are difficult family dynamics and your officiant doesn't know about them or is unable to mitigate them, it becomes a problem scene when those are not taken care of properly. So your officiant too should know how to manage really difficult family dynamics and how to be careful in those scenarios, because even though the couple may be happy and they're excited to get married, not everyone is all the time.
And what about all the advice that we offer in those meetings as well? Because
It's
for
very
for the
helpful.
most part, most couples, this is their first time around. This is their first time getting married, right? So we have been through a lot of weddings and have seen a lot of things, a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts, and we share a lot of that in those meetings as well. So those meetings become very informative, not just for us, but for
them.
the couple as well.
Absolutely. We pull what we need, they pull what they need, and ultimately it becomes a very beautiful experience. Because weddings are that kind of thing where it's very private, but it's also very public, right? It's a very strange dynamic there.
Dynamic of both, yes.
Of both, yeah, absolutely.
So Maricela, here are some rapid fire questions. What is one of the best wedding advices you can give in one sentence?
Prioritize what matters to you and let everything else fall to the wayside. Focus on what you really, really want to get out of your wedding ceremony and do that. And don't worry about anything else.
Okay, sometimes that could be easier said than done, right?
It is, yes, absolutely, because family is very opinionated.
Well, that which brings me, to the second question, right? Biggest wedding mistake couples make.
Trying to control every detail or allowing their families to control every detail of their ceremony. That's a no-no.
I think couples, especially young couples, they feel the pressure of parents or
Yes.
grandparents or family in general that you should do this, you should do that, you should not do this, when in reality they already have an idea of how they want their wedding to go.
And it doesn't mesh with the idea that their families have.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, when families are financially contributing to these weddings, they feel the pressure to accept the help or the advice that they don't really want, but they took the money or they need the money. And so I say, if someone contributed to your wedding, it still doesn't give them the right to control your wedding. So if you don't want any control, outside control, either do without the financial contribution so that you can have full control, or have a conversation with your family members who are financially contributing, but you would still like your ceremony to reflect you and not your parents' wishes or your grandparents' wishes or your aunt's wishes or your godmother's wishes, whatever those may be.
Because remember, guys, at the end of the day, it's your day, right? It's your wedding, so it should be the way you want it. So the next question is, what is one thing couples should spend money on besides a great officiant
A good coordinator. A very good coordinator, a coordinator who is able to manage the day for you, manage expectations not only of you but of your guests, and to keep you in line and keep you where you need to be. Wedding days are so scattered, everything, there's so many moving pieces. You need someone to help you reel you in and keep you on pace and keep you on schedule. Do not rely on yourselves to do that. There's too much excitement going on. You will be late for everything. Have someone help you on the day of. You will not regret that.
Well, a second part to that. Okay, what if some couples can't afford an actual coordinator?
Hire a friend. There you will have a friend or a cousin or a neighbor who is good at scheduling, who is good at coordinating, who is a good party planner. That's the person that you need to help you. Have them assign someone to give you water, to feed you breakfast. You will forget.
Yes.
People are always surprised when we say that. Drink water. You need
Yeah,
it.
that's true. I mean, you have so much on your mind that, yeah, you literally forget to eat, you forget to
Yes.
sleep, you forget to rest, you forget
Yes.
to eat because there's just so much happening, right? So much going on.
So many moving pieces.
What about one thing couples should skip?
Overly gimmicky decor that really doesn't add to the day or to their personalities. Is just stuff. Focus on less stuff and more on the important things like the heart and the feelings and the overall goal that you want for that day, how you want your guests to feel at the end of that day. So focus on that and not just on the colors and the chairs and the flowers. Focus on what really, really matters to you. But in order for you to do that, you have to think about what really matters to you first.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, what is a good wedding tip for this week?
Have a rehearsal. Always have a rehearsal. Some couples and or wedding planners or even some coordinators, they may think that if your wedding is really, really small, like elopement or a micro wedding, that you don't need a rehearsal. We always suggest to have a rehearsal, no matter how small your wedding is. Have a rehearsal.
Always.
Have a rehearsal. Absolutely.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So the biggest takeaway for today is your officiant shapes the emotional and legal core of your ceremony. So choose someone that matches your tone, communicates clearly, and handles the paperwork so you can focus on the moment.
So, if you like this episode, subscribe and leave a review and send us questions about your ceremony. Next episode, we'll answer listeners' questions.
All right, everyone. So that's our time for today. From our hearts to yours, thanks for listening and stay kind. I am Maricela.
And I'm Henry.
Love is everything.
I do with Maricela. Seal the moment. Start the day.